I'd been gone 3 years when my boyfriend brought his new girlfriend to my grave. He held her hand, gazed at my tombstone and smiled. "Scarlett," he murmured, "I won't be visiting you anymore. I'm ready to start a new life." My spectral smile froze. After a long moment I whispered, "It's about time." For those same 3 years, David had visited me faithfully. Every Friday, rain or shine, he'd arrive. He'd place a fresh bouquet by my stone, then sit and recount the mundane details of his week. From UN news to how his rice was a bit too hard that morning, making it unpalatable. No reply, no response. Yet he talked to me like that for 3 long years. The neighboring spirits were envious. They joked that I must have saved a bank in a past life to deserve such a devoted man. I smugly thought, well, I am quite charming. But truthfully, I never wanted David to come. It wasn't healthy for him to dwell in the past. I always urged him to let go, to live his life. But when that day finally came, I couldn't help it. My eyes welled up. The cemetery was unusually crowded late that night. A new neighbor, a chatty girl around my age, patted my shoulder. "Is your boyfriend coming tomorrow?" she asked. "It'd be a miracle if that idiot didn't show up," I scoffed. "It's been 3 years," she said. I corrected her precisely. 1,166 days. She gave a dry laugh. "You've kept track." "How could I not?" I replied. "Every single day and night is etched in my heart." That Friday the sky was overcast, and rain had started early. David arrived as usual, an umbrella shielding him. His face was obscured, but he clutched a massive bouquet of roses. My fellow ghost's eyes widened. The underworld intel was wrong. I thought he was only bringing one bouquet. As David approached, I realized he'd grown even handsomer. Of course he had. Even in school, he'd made girls swoon, and he only became more captivating with age. He placed the flowers down, looked up and smiled. "It's a bit chilly today, Scarlett. Happy anniversary." The bouquet held a handwritten card, the meticulous script so earnest. "Every year on this day, David brings flowers," I murmured, leaning against my tombstone, a soft laugh escaping me. "Still remembers. How time flies. It's already 5 years." David sat down, his voice low and gentle. "Scarlett, guess who I saw today?" Pouted. "How could I guess when you put it like that?" He teased. "I'll give you a hint. An old classmate. We'd been in the same schools from elementary all the way through college." I snorted. "That's no hint at all." David always talked like that, dropping clues one by one like bait. Even without my response, he'd pause, allowing me time to think. After a moment, he continued. "Remember Fatty Mike? The guy who sat behind you in high school and used to pull your hair?" The moment he said it, I remembered. I wasn't in David's class back then. I was known as the delicate princess type, and that guy would constantly pull my hair just to make me cry. David, on the other hand, was the school's star student, a name that made girls shriek. But he had a prickly personality, not easily messed with. One time I was sobbing hysterically when suddenly, bim, David kicked open the door and strode in. I turned, tears brimming, meeting his cold gaze. He frowned, letting out an impatient Without a word, David grabbed Fatty Mike by the collar and dragged him in front of me. Mike, who usually bullied me, was like a frightened child meeting his parents when faced with David. He whimpered, begging for release. David didn't let go, staring him down. "If you ever lay a hand on her again, I'll shave your head bald." The whole class went silent. Fatty Mike was genuinely terrified, nodding like a pecking chicken. Only then did David release him. He bent down and pulled a piece of candy from his pocket. "Stop crying. You're so useless. Why didn't you tell me about this?" From that moment on, just seeing David made my heart race. It was like fireworks exploding inside me. He nodded. "I remember. Why, did he get married? Does he have a walking child now?" Gasped. "Wow, time really flies." This time David brought strawberries. They looked so delicious my mouth watered. I tried to pick one up, but my hand just passed right through it, as if through air. I rolled up my sleeves, listening to him talk, reaching for a strawberry, but my hand kept phasing through. If it were now, I would have punched him then. But after you changed classes, he never dared to bother you again. David looked into the distance and suddenly chuckled. Actually, I never told you, but after that summer break, I went and beat up Fatty Mike again. You're terrible, I said, reaching out to playfully hit him. But he continued. Fatty Mike even offered to introduce me to a girlfriend. I froze, stunned for a few seconds, then lost all interest. I sat down next to him, realizing he wasn't a kid anymore. He told Mike he already had a girlfriend, gentle, obedient, and deeply in love with him. David gently stroked the ring on his finger, his voice as soft as a breath. This entire life, I'll only love her. Scarlett. David lowered his head. I want to have a child with you. I felt a mixture of bitterness and frustration. You're so foolish, letting this love last longer than our time together. Scarlett. David's voice was hoarse. I miss you so much. Do you miss me? My eyes welled up. It's infuriating. You always come here just to tease me. Before I could cry, the female ghost beside me burst into tears. She wiped her eyes. Is this a sci-fi movie? My ex-boyfriend only knows how to cheat. I'd trade 30 years of my ex's life for you two to grow old together. No, I'd trade it all. My choked tears turned into laughter. Thanks, you knight in shining armor. David was still sitting there, muttering mushy sweet nothings that made me blush. I wanted to cry too, but I was embarrassed to do so in front of her. I shooed the other ghost away. My previous neighbors were more considerate than you. Hearing this, the female ghost froze, then grabbed my arm. Scarlett, how long did you say you've been in the human realm? I just wanted to get rid of her. David didn't have much time left, and I wanted to be with him a little longer. Her face turned ashen, and she pulled out a book of ghostly laws. Scarlett, you can't do that. What if I want to? I pushed and pulled her away, then returned to David's side. He was looking down at the ground, the rain getting heavier. Perhaps he was tired. The hand holding the umbrella was tilting, half of him drenched. He didn't say another word. Every time before he left, he'd be silent for a while, but today, the silence stretched longer than usual. David, I sighed softly. You should start thinking about your future. What good does it do to linger with someone who's dead like me? David couldn't hear me, but I always had to say it. If he could truly hear, his ears would surely be calloused by now. Start over. If you can, please take care of my parents for me. David, forget me. It was always David who started the conversations, and it was always me rambling endlessly at the end. David sat there quietly, as if he were truly listening to me. David, I repeated again, forget me. This time, David stayed longer than usual. After a long silence, he suddenly spoke again. Actually, I haven't told you, but I've moved recently. A little closer to the cemetery. So it's easier to visit. My new place is so empty. I've kept the room decorated just like ours used to be. But I did secretly change a few things. I changed the bed sheets. I don't like pink. Scarlett, are you mad? But I've kept all your belongings exactly as they were. Every time I come home, I feel like you're still there, never left. Milk Tea has been a picky eater lately, but she's gotten fatter. She must miss you too. Every time he played the recording of my voice, she'd roll around on the floor, acting spoiled. I couldn't help it. I burst into tears. David, what the hell are you doing? My presence is everywhere in your life. How can you ever move on? David left, but this time he made a decision. Scarlett, he said, once a week is too long. From now on, I'll visit you every day, okay? After David left, the female ghost crept back, her eyes red-rimmed. You keep calling David an idiot, but you're the idiot. I tilted my head at her. So, who do you think is more foolish? She pouted, grumbling. So foolish I can't even tell the difference anymore. I laughed. I think he's a little more foolish. From that day on, David truly came every day. He talked more densely about trivial things that didn't matter, but I loved listening. He came every day for a week, and then, as if he'd vanished, he disappeared for a while. When he returned, I immediately noticed the ring on his finger was gone. My heart clenched as if I'd just realized something, and I suddenly looked up at him. This time, David didn't bring flowers, but his face was full of smiles. "Scarlett, it's getting colder." The moment he spoke, the female ghost beside me immediately fell silent. In that vast open space, only David's voice remained. He leaned against the tombstone, silent for a long moment, then sighed. "I'm starting to dislike this place. Turns out love has an expiration date, and so does my affection for you." David lowered his head and chuckled softly. "These past few days I didn't come here, and I was surprised that I didn't feel anything at all. Scarlett, I think I'm about to let go of you. There's a new girl at the company." My heart suddenly started to flutter again. Just seeing her, my heart seems to automatically beat faster. That day, I saw her wearing a short dress, standing in the cold, her breath misting. A voice suddenly echoed in my mind. It told me to protect this girl well from now on. It turns out that a crush can come so unexpectedly. As he spoke those words, there was a light in David's eyes, pure joy and tenderness. "Scarlett, will you blame me?" I stood in the cold wind, feeling as if the wind was blowing straight into my chest, a wave of piercing pain. So even ghosts could feel pain. The words I had waited so long to hear were not easy to accept when they actually came. "How could I blame you? I'm almost too happy." I averted my gaze and burst into laughter. After a few laughs, I accidentally met David's eyes, and my nose suddenly stung. I couldn't laugh anymore. I looked at him for a long time, then whispered hoarsely, "That's wonderful. Truly wonderful." That day was sunny and beautiful. David came to visit me again. From a distance I saw him. He always stood out, his tall figure making him instantly recognizable. David hadn't been here for a while, and seeing him again felt surreal. But this time, there was a girl beside him. I shot up, my body rigid. "David, you brought her to meet me." He held the girl's hand, staring at my tombstone, and smiled. "Scarlett, I won't be visiting you anymore. I'm ready to start a new life." The harsh sunlight was blinding. I couldn't open my eyes, only squinting and vaguely saying, "That's good news, isn't it? I told you you have to start your own life again. Look at you now, you're so much more vibrant. David, you were always meant to stand in the sunlight. That's who you are." As I spoke, my throat suddenly choked up. I had to cling to the female ghost beside me to stay steady. I must be having low blood sugar. For once, I couldn't control my emotions. Luckily, David didn't see. He held the girl's hand tightly. The light in his eyes no longer the burning intensity of years past as he looked down at the grave. David seemed to have truly let go. People often say that a new person is the best cure for old wounds. If David was truly healed, I was happier than anyone. I secretly wiped away my tears, feeling a burden lifted, and chuckled. "David, I'm truly happy for you. 3 years, and you're finally back on track." He spoke, his tone like he was talking to an old friend. "I once thought I'd spend my entire life in regret. But then there was someone who made me want to commit for life. Feel lucky. Let the past years be a dream. I am David, and when I love someone, I only love one person with my whole heart and soul. There's no room for anyone else." As he spoke, he gently squeezed the girl's hand. It was then that I noticed they were both wearing matching rings, with engravings on them. It was truly serious. Yes, David's love was always clear and passionate like that. He was a dazzling sun, and so was his love. David took a ring from his pocket and gently placed it on the tombstone. "Scarlett." His voice was soft as a whisper. "Goodbye. Leaving so soon." I jumped up, my eyes brimming with tears, no longer able to see his face clearly. I tried to wipe away my tears, but they only flowed more. It's the last time, the very last time. Please don't let my memory of you be just a shadow. I truly couldn't control myself. The more I tried, the more tears streamed down. I want to see clearly, I want to engrave it deeply. But the last time came too suddenly, without any preparation. David was not lingering as usual. He carefully held the girl's hand, preparing to leave. As he turned, I couldn't help but call out, my voice cracking with emotion. David, can you just say it? He had already turned his back. I trembled, barely managing to speak. Can you just say, I love you one more time? David was gone. This departure carried with it all the breath of life, and everything around me suddenly fell silent. I lowered my eyes, standing dazed for a long time. The ring lay silently there. I reached out my hand, comparing it to my finger, wanting to pick it up. I tried again and again, but the ring didn't budge. I started to panic, grabbing it with both hands. The female ghost frantically called my name. Scarlett, Scarlett, what are you doing? Don't scare me. I looked up, confused. I want to wear it. I pointed at the ring. I want to wear that ring. The female ghost fell silent. She stood still, her eyes red-rimmed, staring at me. I lunged forward again. The female ghost hugged me tightly, gently saying, Don't take it anymore, Scarlett. We're not taking it. It's been 3 years. You should let go too. Yes, I should let go. David being like this is something to celebrate. I laughed loudly for a long time, then started running around, singing and dancing. This cemetery is too quiet. It needs more sound. Tired from running, I leaned against my tombstone, lazily chatting. David, don't bring strawberries next time. I'm a bit tired of them. I want steamed buns from the shop near my house. Can you bring me a basket? It's been a long time since we ate together. Also, the crab hot pot in the plaza, the candied haws at the end of the alley. Autumn is coming, and I still need. The female ghost quickly cut me off. Don't be like that. I snapped out of it. Oh, he's not coming anymore, is he? I lowered my head, looking at the ring, muttering, That's good. I wish you both a long and happy life, growing old together. David. The female ghost got angry. For the first time, she snapped at me. She grabbed me, yelling, David is gone. What did you promise me? He's not coming back. You can't stay in the human realm anymore, do you understand? She screamed until her voice was hoarse. I looked at her and suddenly burst out laughing. You're screaming so loudly you're making my ears deaf. I stroked her hair. You really like to meddle in other people's business. None of my previous neighbors were as annoying as you. The female ghost turned her face away, refusing to look at me. You also know they were previous neighbors. Because they've all moved on. That's right. Ghosts can't linger in the human realm for too long. I slowly sat down, looking into the distance, and slowly began to speak. Before, I always told David to leave. But when he truly left, I couldn't bear it. I know I can't stay any longer, but I haven't let go yet. I just want to stay one more day, in the place where David searched for me for 3 years. Just one more moment. I tilted my head, looking at the female ghost's tear-streaked face, and laughed through my own tears. Sometimes I wondered, how will David and her live? Will he help her dry her hair? When she's upset, will he patiently comfort her? He probably will. David is so thoughtful. He definitely won't let her be sad. But the more I thought, the sadder I became. I laughed at myself, a self-deprecating laugh. I spent 3 years telling David to let go. In the end, the one who couldn't let go was me. I still hesitated to leave. The female ghost angrily turned away, letting her frustration spill over. She said if I didn't leave, she'd drag me and bury herself with me. I was silent for a very long time, then finally whispered, Why bother? She grabbed me and talked a lot. I listened quietly to her, talking until dawn. The female ghost told me that this year she had planned to get engaged to her boyfriend, But an unexpected accident made her discover that her soon-to-be fiancé had another woman. On her way home, she got into an accident. That house, she would never be able to return to it again. She said that life is always full of regrets, and everyone will have them. David stayed with you for 3 years, but he can't be with you for an entire lifetime. You know that better than anyone, right? She talked endlessly, hugging my shoulder, but in the middle of her words, her eyes suddenly swept behind my back. With just one glance, her voice abruptly choked, and her lips began to tremble in an instant. I sensed something, and the casual smile on my lips slowly receded. I slowly turned my head, following her gaze. The rain pattered drip drip drip. A dark figure gradually approached, little by little, step by step, becoming clearer and clearer. As he got closer, the sound of the rain on his umbrella became distinct. David. He walked step by step until he stood directly in front of my grave. He stood there dazed for a long time before speaking. After thinking it over, I still felt I should come here to formally say goodbye. Scarlett, thank you for being in my life and making me happy for so many years. We're engaged. Yesterday she had a dream and you appeared in it. Scarlett, please don't scare her anymore, okay? We're living very well. If you can hear me, can you forget me? I looked at him. For the first time I didn't speak in response. The rain lasted a long time, and David stayed for a long time, as if making a final farewell. This time I saw his face clearly. Still the same image in my memory, never changed. When the rain stopped, he stood up, closed his umbrella, looked up at the sky, and gently let out a soft laugh. Scarlett, this is the last time. Goodbye sounds unlucky, but let's just say, see you in the next life. I'll live well. I hope you do too. David finally left. This time there was no hesitation, no lingering. I watched his retreating figure for a very, very long time, until I averted my gaze, and my tears could no longer flow. The female ghost gently pulled my hand. Scarlett, let's go. At the very end of this story, I still couldn't hear the I love you I had longed for. But I no longer demanded it because he had someone to love. So that I love you, let her hear it. Today is Friday and it's raining outside. Thinking about seeing Scarlett soon, I can't calm down. I stand in front of the mirror, practicing a calm expression. Scarlett was incredibly perceptive. The slightest slip and she'd notice. Thankfully, for 3 years, I'd been a master of disguise, so accustomed to it. Scarlett was patiently waiting for me again, just as she always did. I placed the bouquet down, looked up and smiled. It's a bit chilly today, Scarlett. I wonder if you're cold. Happy 5th anniversary. Time flies, doesn't it? 5 years already, and 3 since you left this world. If you were still here, this anniversary would probably drive me crazy, wouldn't it? You'd definitely be dragging me out of bed early in the morning. Then we'd go down together to buy a strawberry cream cake. But today I didn't have time to buy one. You're listening to This Life, This Destiny, broadcast on Tran Tien Min's YouTube channel. I miss you so much. On my way here I saw Fatty Mike. His kid is adorable. Scarlett, if you were still alive, our child would probably be around that age, wouldn't they? I never told you this, but before you left, I was already discussing with my mom about choosing a date to formally visit your parents. I wanted to surprise you. I just never got the chance to tell you. But it's okay. In my heart, you were always the one David wanted to spend his entire life with. It's just that one is living and one is gone. I can't say it to you officially, but just seeing you like this, I'm content. Do you ever get bored of me telling you these trivial things every time I come here? Really, I just want you to know I'm still doing well. Though not entirely well. My house is too empty. Through spring, summer, autumn and winter, through sun and rain, through full moons and new moons, I'm always alone. I still haven't gotten used to life without you. If you knew, you'd probably pinch my ear and scold me for being an idiot, wouldn't you? Okay. I am an idiot. You want strawberries, don't you? I saw you trying to reach for them. So silly. You can't even grab them, but you keep trying. The moment I mentioned someone wanting to introduce me to a girlfriend, your face fell. Still can't hide anything, can you? You barely said a few words, and your eyes are already red-rimmed. You used to bravely declare you weren't the crybaby you used to be. Now I've caught you. You didn't expect me to see you, did you? You little trickster. Scarlett, I heard you. You can't stay in the human realm forever, can you? Seems I was wrong. I should have thought of this sooner. Actually, there's so much more I haven't had a chance to say. But now I can't utter a single word. I stood there, numb, my entire body drained of strength. My heart ached so much it was hard to breathe. I tried for a long time, but I couldn't bring myself to move. I told you. From now on, I'll visit you every day, okay? The truth is, I can't bear to be without you. That last week, I secretly set aside a final week for us. Scarlett, you probably don't know I made this decision on my own, do you? Our meetings have begun their countdown. Scarlett, you told me to live my life. This time I might truly have to put on a show for you. Can you stop sniffling? Can't hug you. I slowly recounted everything that had happened between us. Both the things you knew and the things you'd never heard me say. You said I talked a lot more this time because if I didn't, there wouldn't be another chance. 7 days passed so quickly. Scarlett, to make this performance more real, I intentionally came to see you before bringing that girl along. Before I arrived, I took off my ring. You're so perceptive, you must have noticed, right? Scarlett, will you blame me? You said you wouldn't, but I blame myself. That day finally came. Scarlett, why couldn't you even act for a few short minutes? How can a ghost have low blood sugar, you silly girl? But your tears made me want to cry too. I said I wouldn't visit you anymore. When David's heart runs out of love, he only loves one person. Once he loves, it's with his whole heart and soul, with no room for anyone else. But I had half a sentence I didn't get to say. My entire life, the only person I love is you. Scarlett, I left the ring for you. Just like you once said. Forget me. The one who should move on is you. And I willingly stay here, guarding our memories. Scarlett, goodbye. I turned and left, looking disheveled. Because if I lingered for even one more second, you would have noticed. In those few short minutes, I had to suppress the urge to turn back and look at you hundreds of times. Scarlett, I heard you. You asked if I could say, I love you again. Love you. I truly love you. Stepping out of the cemetery, I suddenly felt like I couldn't stand anymore. The girl with me complained that I was holding her hand too tightly, making it red. She took off the ring and returned it to me, gently comforting me. Why are you doing this? You should let go too. I chuckled softly. Let go. I let go a long time ago. The moment I opened the door, milk tea rushed over. It seemed to know I was sad, staying by my side, not leaving for a second. In my days, I seemed to see your figure appear. You were leaning against the sofa, holding milk tea in your arms, tilting your head to look at me. David, let's go see a movie tonight. What do you want to see? A horror movie. So you have an excuse to jump into my arms. That's an old trick. But even without an excuse, I can still hug you. These past few days, my mind has been hazy and confused. Everywhere your image lingers. Scarlett, are you gone? I just wanted to see you one last time. I'm sorry, Scarlett, otherwise. I truly can't hold on any longer. I once said I had to formally say goodbye to you. Sure enough, you hadn't left yet. Scarlett, why are you so disobedient? I said cruel words. Your eyes were brimming with tears, but you still forced a smile and said, It's okay. I'm sorry, Scarlett, I made you cry one last time. After that, I didn't come back for a very long time. Not until winter came, and suddenly it snowed. Only then did I dare to step into this place. This time, Scarlett had truly gone. The surroundings were eerily silent. I watched for a while, my eyes unconsciously reddening. I sat there for a long time alone. This place finally had no trace of you left. Only me, standing desolate. Now I could finally look around openly. Before, every time I came, I didn't dare to look up clearly, afraid I wouldn't be able to stop staring at you. I could only secretly glance at you a few times when you turned away. Who would want to keep looking at that cold tombstone? Chinese New Year is coming, Scarlett. This is the first Chinese New Year without you. I want to clean the house, decorate it a bit, but milk tea has left me too. For the first time in years, I opened the door and didn't see her run out to greet me. Just recently, I bought her a new scratching post. The old one hadn't even been thrown away yet. There was still unfinished food in her bowl. And yet she just left. Clearly, she was still curled up in my arms, acting spoiled. I even stroked her soft belly, saying, "Now I only have you left. You won't leave me, will you?" At that time she clearly nodded. Did she follow you too? Leaving nothing for me. You heartless little thing. But it's okay. After seeing milk tea off, I sat in the empty house, not saying a word. Suddenly I looked up. Outside the window, a firework bloomed. Then clusters of fireworks lit up one after another. You loved watching fireworks. Normally you would have screamed and called me over. Chinese New Year is coming, Scarlett. I'm increasingly reluctant to leave the house. And I talk much less. Everyone says I'm sick. I'm not sick. I just miss you too much. I'm perfectly sane. I just don't want to face reality. Fatty Mike unexpectedly visited me. It's rare for him to remember me. His child can walk now, and her name is very nice, Joy. Fatty Mike smiled until his eyes crinkled. He said, "I named her Joy because I want her to be happy her whole life." Joy, I whispered the name, finding it quite a coincidence. Years ago, you also named our child Joy, remember? Fatty Mike sat and talked to me for a long time. He advised me not to be like this anymore. But he still didn't give up on introducing me to a girlfriend. I no longer have the strength to love anyone else. I patted his shoulder and said, "Stop it, seriously, stop it." Over the years, I've always tried to grow flowers. I clearly watered them regularly. Why are they still not as good as the flowers you grew? Scarlett, you haven't finished teaching me yet. Scarlett, happy 8th anniversary. The weather is beautiful today. Unbeknownst to me, another 3 years have passed, and I've gradually gotten used to living alone. Occasionally, I sit with my mother, Mrs. Smith, for an afternoon, but not often. She often advises me to get married, have children, and she's even more nagging than you were, Scarlett. If you were still here, I wouldn't have to listen to these complaints. Scarlett, it's been 10 years. Happy anniversary to us. I've been to many places we never got to visit. Seen so many beautiful sights you never saw. Scarlett, I can't let go of you anymore. This love, the more I bury it, the deeper it becomes. It's almost suffocating me to madness. Scarlett, I miss you so much. Scarlett, happy 12th anniversary. Let me say a few sappy words, okay? You once said that the first time you met me, I scared you into crying because I seemed so fierce. At that time, I thought it was good to scare you into crying because I truly was a gruff person. I grew up in a single-parent family, and my mother, Mrs. Smith, was a weak person. I just wanted to protect her well, so I always had to appear cold and fierce so no one would dare to approach. It wasn't until I met you that I understood that to protect someone, you don't necessarily have to be so fierce. Today, I visited my mother. During dinner, she suddenly brought up the topic of marriage, saying that if I met the right person, I should consider it. I asked her, "Then why haven't you remarried all these years?" She paused slightly about to speak when I spoke first. "Don't say it's all because of me. Dad's photo." Mom looked at it until it was faded. I said seriously, "It's the same for me. I can't accept anyone else anymore." Mrs. Smith was silent for a long time at the dinner table, finally nodding slightly with a bitter smile. "It's because I walked that path that I know how hard it is. But I don't find it hard." Tears welled up in her eyes, and she sighed softly. "My child, I don't know who you get this stubbornness from. Today I visited your aunt and uncle and told them many stories about you. Scarlett, when you were little, you truly were a crybaby. No one urges me to get married anymore. Finally, I have some peace. Before, I used to think, who could love one person their whole life? But there is. Love is something truly hard to explain. I don't know when someone quietly entered my life, and from then on could never leave. Scarlett, I can't move on either. Scarlett, do you believe it? Milk tea came back. Just last night in our neighborhood, she looked exactly like milk tea. I wanted to take her home, but she ran too fast, as if she only came to see me once. After that, I never saw her again. Scarlett, my flowers have bloomed. Strange, isn't it? But I actually managed to grow them. When will you enter my dreams just once, so I can show you? It's snowing again. Scarlett, Scarlett, it's been 20 years. Are you mad at me for forgetting today? I didn't forget. But today, something more important happened. Mrs. Smith, my mother, passed away. She was just like you, always saying things she didn't keep. She said she was afraid I'd be lonely and would stay with me for a while longer. But then she just left. She said she wanted to find my father. She had waited for him her whole life. Before she passed, she often called me home for dinner. When we ate, she always looked at me intently, never taking her eyes off me. At that time I already guessed. I just didn't expect it to come so quickly. I have to see off every person I love. This house is even emptier. Scarlett, I'm starting to be afraid of the night. The night is too long, my dear. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. Your parents invited me over for dinner. Scarlett, I'm still listening to you, still taking good care of them. Your aunt and uncle are still in good health, and they miss you very much. So do I. Fireworks are going off. Scarlett, the new year has arrived. Happy New Year to you. Fatty Mike brought his wife and child to visit me. Joy has grown so much. She wears a ponytail and calls me handsome uncle. Fatty Mike unhappily asked his child who was more handsome, him or me. Joy smiled and pointed at me. I rarely smiled genuinely. After they left, I sat on the balcony for a very, very long time. Autumn arrived, and as usual, I bought roasted chestnuts and baked sweet potatoes, your favorite foods. The autumn wind is so cool. Scarlett, so much has happened this year. Your parents have also passed away. Now I'm truly alone. This winter is so long. Today I made steamed buns by hand. Rarely having free time, I made 2 kinds of fillings. But they tasted the same. Scarlett, winter is getting colder. My taste buds are getting worse too. Struggling alone for all these years, I'm a bit tired. The sunset is beautiful today. I leaned against a park bench, idly thinking, how wonderful it would be if you were still by my side. Scarlett, I said I can't hold on anymore. Will you blame me? No. Then that's good. This winter is too cold. Even the flowers have withered. Scarlett, I just had a very long dream. In the dream, you were holding milk tea, standing across the street, waving and calling me. David, you're too slow. I've been waiting for you for so long. Flashback. After the college entrance exam, Mrs. Smith asked David, have you chosen your university preferences yet? David held a piece of candy in his mouth. His eyes glued to the name University A on the screen, lazily replying, isn't this easy to choose? From a young age, David had his own opinions and rarely caused his mother much worry, so she didn't ask further. His mood that day was excellent. As soon as he left the house, he conveniently bought a mango cake from the bakery nearby, then went to wait in front of the gate of that neighborhood. A few minutes later, a sweet, well-behaved girl walked out of the gate. David raised an eyebrow. Well, what a coincidence. The girl also saw him at a glance. Why are you here? Just passing by. Don't tell me you think I deliberately waited for you. Oh, really? The girl was about to walk away when he stopped her. David shoved the cake into her hand. Just bought it. Want some? The girl was stunned, muttering softly, but I like strawberries. David choked, embarrassed. So, do you want it? Yes, yes, yes. David lowered his head, watching her take the cake, and casually asked, I heard you also applied to University A. Following me? The girl froze for a moment. I applied to University H. What? The candy in David's mouth fell to the ground. Didn't you say you chose University A? The girl looked bewildered, her voice as soft as a cat's meow. I changed to University H. Is something wrong? Nothing. David's voice was a bit gruff. He turned and walked away, but after going halfway, he turned back and asked, Are you sure you chose University H? You're not changing your mind. Not changing. David turned around and ran back. The girl stood there, watching his figure gradually disappear, and only then muttered, I heard you also applied to University H. Meanwhile, Mrs. Smith had just finished arranging flowers in the living room when she suddenly saw David, drenched in sweat, rush into his bedroom. Why the hurry? Nothing. Just adjusting my preferences. In their freshman year of college, there was a handsome but unapproachable guy. Anyone who confessed to him was coldly rejected. His roommate said he often posted statuses hinting that he really wanted to be in a relationship. But strangely, he rejected everyone who confessed, regardless of gender. This situation continued until the second semester. Everyone implicitly assumed he wasn't straight. Yet, unexpectedly, he suddenly had a girlfriend, and he was the one who initiated it. On the day of the confession, the campus was packed with onlookers. Everyone wanted to know what kind of person could make this iron tree bloom, or more accurately, whether it was a man or a woman. The person who caused such a stir on campus was David. He was always very confident in his charm, so he patiently waited for Scarlett to confess first. He cared for her and looked after her, but saw no movement. Plus, a few sudden things happened over the past 2 years, dragging on and on. He only acted close to his third year. When the confession was successful, and he held Scarlett's hand, David felt his heart pound for a long time. A girl's hand is so soft, so small. Damn it, I should have confessed sooner. After walking a short distance, David suddenly blurted out an apology, without beginning or end. Scarlett didn't understand then, and years later she still didn't understand. Actually, in freshman year, Scarlett had intended to confess, but that day, she happened to overhear David's rejection of a girl. At that time, he rejected her too cleverly, blurting out, "Sorry, I'm gay." Scarlett was hiding in a corner, and after hearing that, she froze. Because of one sentence, two people silently liked each other for over 2 years. And so, the most famous secret crush at University H officially began. Scarlett loved growing flowers and also loved teaching David how to plant them. Scarlett lectured. David listened intently. The moment she turned to glance, she saw David's gaze wasn't on the flower pot at all, but entirely fixed on her. "Are you being lazy?" "Of course not," David said, caught off guard. "Then please, Teacher Scarlett, teach me again." Scarlett patiently explained from the beginning. By the third time, her patience gradually vanished. She put her hands on her hips, annoyed. "David, why are you so silly?" David started to whine. "It's okay, you know it's fine." Scarlett's little temper grew more and more as David pampered her, but she was also known as the easiest person to appease on campus. Every time she got angry, she would run back to her dorm room and slam the door shut. A few seconds later, a voice would call from outside the door. "Tiske, who wants strawberry cream cake?" David stood outside with the cake, starting to count. 3. Before he even reached 1, the door burst open. Bang! David lazily glanced over. Behind the door was a beaming face, smiling until her eyes crinkled. "Mimi, I want it." It was the first time it had snowed. Scarlett walked in the snow, each step leaving footprints, cheering with delight as she went. David shuffled behind her, still carrying a bag of sweet roasted chestnuts that Scarlett hadn't finished. Scarlett suddenly turned around, her words misting in the cold wind. She looked up and asked him, "Do you love me? How long have you loved me? Will you love me forever?" "Yes, I do." David pulled her into his arms, lowered his head, and whispered softly, his voice gentle as if promising a lifetime. "David will always love you for a very, very long time."